It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I was doing a little bit of work on the house and the door knocks. Hence all the dust in my hair and dusty t-shirt. But I thought I would stop the work I was doing for a moment to bring you this. Caution contains serious attitude. It's from Brewdog. I went onto their website and I picked these up on, I think it was Wednesday evening. I ordered the new Double Punk by Brewdog. Here we go. And here we are. Double Punk, 8.2% ABV. Why am I so excited? Why have I answered the door and literally just getting straight on with it, reviewing this beer? Well, the original Punk IPA I reviewed over 10 years ago now was probably the first ever IPA, real American style IPA that I ever got my hands on and reviewed on the channel. And if some of you have watched that video, you can see my sheer excitement by being blown away by all of these wonderful kind of like grapefruit flavours coming through. I better get a glass. And it was the beer, I remember the point, I remember that moment in time. It was the beer that really ignited my quest and search to drink as much craft beer as possible. When I started the channel, probably about 8 months previous, it was all about bottled real ales in the supermarket. You couldn't get Punk IPA in the supermarket back then, believe it or not. It was another year or two before we started seeing Punk on the supermarket shelves. It was a real kind of, back then, I got it from My Brewery Tap, a little kind of online bottle shop that they're all doing so well these days. So that's my history with Punk. So Punk really set off my craft beer, my IPA, my love of IPA. So I'm really excited to get into this one. It's a double version of Punk IPA. Should we get it out into a glass, see what we get? 330 milliliter can. This literally should be as fresh as can be. So what do we have? One finger white head. A slight haze to it. It's smelling already from here. I'm holding it from here. It's smelling fantastic. The aromas are just bursting out the glass and we haven't even got to that yet. Slow moving carbonation. It's a nice looking beer. It's a nice looking beer. So it is a double IPA. It's not trying to be a New England IPA in a style, because it would say so. So it's nice that it's got a small amount of haze going on. You can see little particles and bits and pieces floating around in the glass there. Micro particles, mind. Golden amber in the colour. Let's get the aroma. Smells good. Smells really, really good. Tropical grapefruit. A spiciness, a pepperiness going on. Touch of mango, passion fruit. And it kind of takes me back to how the early Brewdog beers were brewed. They were kind of spiky and tropical. In fact, I haven't read anything. I've just literally opened the box and I'll have a little read on the side of the can. They might still be using that spiky and tropical marketing term that they use. But let's dive into this one. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna put it down. Stone the Crows! Stone the Crows! Well done, Brewdog. Well done, Brewdog. You've nailed this one. I think it was so important. So important to get this so right. This is kind of, I mean, when you bring out, when Punk IPA is your flagship beer, and then you bring out a double version of that, people are going to be excited. People are going to want to try it. They're going to be intrigued. And it really couldn't be. It really had, it couldn't afford to have been anything other than amazing. Because I think Brewdog, they've set themselves that standard. They have a lot of hits. They have the odd miss. But I've been Brewdog's biggest critic. I've said this all along. When they brew something terrific, I think I need to shout from the rooftops and say it's terrific beer, because on the other end of the scale, when I'm really angry and mad at Brewdog for producing something half-hearted, then literally I'll be just as angry. I'll be just as angry. So this is a high moment for me. This is a real high moment in trying this beer. It's absolutely fantastic. Really, really good tasting beer, and it's spot on. It's got a load of bitterness on the back end. I'm a fan of that kind of West Coast style bitterness on the back of the palate there. That lovely kind of rip-roaring bitterness, the spiciness, the pepperiness, but loads of flavour as well in the middle. So what are we getting? Initially, a touch of sweetness. Then it goes over to being massively grapefruity, mango, passion fruit, pineapple, loads of tropical fruits coming through. And then there it is. There it is on the back of that palate, that big, rip-roaring bitterness that balances out that sweetness to begin with. The bitterness balances that sweetness out. It's really, really, really good. Orange peel, fleshy blood orange. Peppery, spicy, really drinkable for 8.2% ABV, a really, really drinkable, refreshing beer. I think this was a no-brainer. I think this was an absolute no-brainer to bring out. I mean, for me, the other double IPA was Jackhammer, wasn't it? Jackhammer was the other double IPA, and that was really good. I really liked Jackhammer when I reviewed it. I thought it was a fantastic beer. This is they produced a non-alcoholic version of Punk IPA. I'm not really interested in that. I like to drink beer for the alcohol. I'm not ashamed to say it. I like having a few beers and feeling a bit wobbly, you know. I don't mind that at all. I don't drink beer to drink non-alcoholic beer, if that makes any sense. I like the alcohol in the beer. So that's the reason why I haven't reviewed the 0% or the whatever it is, 0.5% Punk IPA. Punk AF, is it? Doesn't really interest me. But this is the other end of the scale. This is kind of, if that was a non-alcoholic beer and then you had Punk at 5.7% ABV, then a double version of Punk, yeah, I'm all over that. I'm all over that. Brilliant, fantastic. What do they say about the beer then? The beer that started it all, Amplified. United we stand for better beer, fiercely defiant and independent. A postmodern classic, double Punk. I think this is going to set people's hearts racing for Brewdog again. I think this could be the beer that because let's be fair, let's hit that subject if we want. Over the years, Brewdog have come under some criticism from people like me who review beer and drink beer, because it was a very craft, niche, small little company producing like world-beating beers, and then they chose that kind of that supermarket kind of approach to sell a lot of volume of beer, and I think over the years their beers have suffered a little bit because of that. Because of course we all drank, or a lot of us drank, the very early Brewdog beers where they were absolutely tremendous. But I think this is a little it shows that the beating heart of Brewdog is still there. It's still there. They're still passionate about beer, to produce fantastic beer. I love it. I love it. I really do. Brilliant. It's like stepping back in time 10 years ago. Drinking that first bottle of, it was a bottle, yeah, Punk IPA at 6% ABV, and loving it, and just dancing around the kitchen. Just really enjoying the beer. In this very same spot 10 years on, looking slightly older, slightly greyer. We're drinking a double version. Let's rate it. Lovely look to the beer. Look at that as you roll the beer ground in the glass. Good levels of carbonation, nice slightly hazy golden amber coloured beer. Smells great, really pungent and floral. Tastes great. I like that. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Where do I want to see this beer go from here? I think this beer should be a permanent Brewdog beer. But I think it should stay as maybe an online exclusive. Somewhere where the real craft beer, the real passionate craft beer drinker who remembers Brewdog of old can go and chase this down and order it and drink it. Maybe put it in some small bottle shops around the country like they used to do, but I understand distribution with a massive company like Brewdog is going to be nigh on impossible to do that. But I think the worst thing to happen to this beer would be if they scaled it up massively and they put it in every supermarket known to man. I think that would be the moment where this beer would, over time, could possibly be dialed down. And that would be a great shame. That would be a great shame for this beer. So if you're watching Brewdog, if you're listening, this is fantastic. Keep it fantastic. Keep it online only on your website. For us real die-hard craft beer fans. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.